knowing when to ask for help is critical when you're in a leadership position.
It's getting the best out of people. That's the essence of leadership.
Welcome to Leaders on Leadership. We're here with Kim Horn, President and CEO of Priority Health, and she's ready to take some questions from our students from Wayne State University School of Business Administration. Your question, please.
Hello, my name is Mustafa Al-Asadi, and my major is Information System Management. And my question is, being the one of the top 10 health insurance in Michigan, how do you want to set an example to other new or struggling health insurers getting to the market?
So what's the advice that I have to struggling or new companies coming into the market? Well, I guess the first advice I would have is make sure that you understand the people you're trying to serve, right? And principally we're serving today government payers, right? Medicare and Medicaid, so the taxpayers, and small businesses and large businesses. You're here to solve a problem, and the problem, it's not about you, it's about those that are actually purchasing the services. This market, it's very, very tough, right? The economy's tough, so you have to be extremely disciplined in terms of your business practices. But you know, I still think that most people, if they recognize they're here to solve someone else's problem, be very clear about what that problem is, you have at least a fighting chance.
Rest of it becomes just work to
right,
do that.
Right.
Yeah.
But you have to work hard.
Always.
Yeah.
Your question, please.
My name is Michael Gago, and I'm a business student at Wayne State University. And my question is, what influenced you to serve the leadership path that you've taken upon yourself, and how did it make you stay determined and focused to achieve your goals?
Yeah, what was the greatest influence? Well, first of all, we didn't get into the background. First of all, I come from a family who, I grew up in Flint, and so it was a working family, right? My father worked for General Motors, then he was a Flint Fire Department, worked for the Flint Fire Department, so really hard, worked 2 or 3 jobs. My mom was a secretary, and you know, so that work ethic was from, you know, my early, we always were expected to have a job. We always were expected to have a job. When it was time to go off for college, I didn't have the option of my parents paying the bill. You know, I had to get a job and work myself through college. So that was a big influence. I had a couple people along the way. One was the physician I worked for in high school, who was very significant. He was very influential to me. I was the first person in my family to graduate from college. He really pushed me in that direction when that really was not even on my horizon in high school. So that was, you know, he was very influential. He got me the job at the hospital that I worked at for many, many years. The hospital CEO encouraged me to go into finance. So every place along the way, there were 1 or 2 people that saw something in me that maybe I didn't see in myself and kind of pushed me. And I think that's a role that we all have now, is to find the best in everyone and kind of push them along. Really, it's, and I've chosen a particular path. I could have chosen a lot of other paths, but it's one that's been very fulfilling. It's been good to me professionally. It's been good for my family. But you know, you want to be proud when you go home every night that maybe it didn't work out exactly the way you wanted, but can you look in the mirror and feel good about who you are? And so that's the one message. I mean, always do something that you can tell your mom. You know, you wouldn't be afraid to tell your mom or your children. And now, you know, anything I do, I want to be able to not be embarrassed by the message that would have to go to my kids. So,
how important is it for students when they're in those formative years that you talked about, when someone starts giving advice, to realize that it is advice and pay attention to it? People suggested you go to finance, suggested you go to college.
Well, first of all, everybody has an advice and an opinion, and don't follow every opinion or advice you get. So that's, you know, you have to love what you do. So early on, actually, the physician I was referencing wanted me to go into medical technology, be at med tech, right? I hated it. I mean, I hated biology, I hated science, and you know, so that was great advice. Probably I could have had a nice career, could have done a lot of things, but I didn't love it. I mean, I really did love finance and you know, accounting and economics and that sort of thing. So you have to follow your passion. The second thing I learned is that I love to do good things. I want to have an impact. And so that kind of steered me in a particular direction. Advice along the way is go work for a publicly traded company, you know, get stock options. Well, I realized very early on that wasn't in me. You know, that's not, while that's exciting and I love business, that's not what, you know, that's not what motivated me. So listen to advice, but you gotta follow what, you know, what's in you. So, but listen, right?
Yes. Your question, please.
My name is Andrew Barnes. I'm at Wayne State University studying finance. My question is, with all the current economic turmoil and uncertainty, how do you manage to keep your employees motivated?
Have some employees in the crowd. How do you keep them motivated? Well, first of all, you have to be honest. Right? You have to be very candid about the challenges, both that you're having in the company as well as kind of the larger. So that's number one. Number two, it's our job as leaders to find opportunity in every situation. So there's a lot of crisis going on. You know, people losing their jobs, companies going under. I mean, the whole, you know, budget crisis with our, you know, at our state and federal government. Those are very significant challenges, but we have to find opportunities to create solutions. So, you know, there's always that thread of any chaotic moment that you can make a difference, and it creates disruption, right? And when disruption happens, that means that, in this case, the underdog, the small guy, can kind of come in and seize the moment. And, you know, that's what I try to, you know, any crisis, you got to sit back, take a moment, and then try to find, you know, some, you know, what it called, pot at the end of the rainbow or whatever it might be. So,
Thanks for being here, Kim.
yeah, thank you for having me.
Join us again next time for another edition of Leaders on Leadership. See you then.